Hello, guys. Gonna be honest, it's nice to be here, and I'm very excited about this, and also a little nervous. You know, I was just behind the stage. I'm like, okay, it's been a long time that I haven't been here, but I remember like when I get back to the gym, like 2 months ago, I was also nervous. Like maybe I have forgotten how to fight, but as soon as I get in the map, I realize he was always there. I feel like I never left. So it's quite excited, and I'm looking forward to this.
What kind of a problem does this man present for Francis Ngannou?
Well, I mean, everyone is a problem at some extent, and then he's definitely a problem for some people, and as long as I'm concerned, he is not a problem. A problem against the predator. So I think the nickname speaks for itself.
So why was now the right time for you to get back involved in mixed martial arts?
He was always He was always the plan. You know, in May, I think it was in May, yes, May last year, that we make this official that we are supposed to fight this year. And then we get a little delay because it's supposed to be in June. So that was the plan. And even like before my last fight against Joshua, this fight was already talking about, you know, like when the fought champ in Saudi Arabia, the deal was that I'm going to fight the winner, and he was already made before the fight and before I fight.
And Renan has done a lot of great things while you've been in boxing, right? Amazing run through the season, beats Ryan Bader in the champ versus champ fight. So how much of him were you watching, and what have you thought of the fights that you've seen and the knockouts that he's put together while you've been away?
Well, I'm gonna say this, like, I wasn't impressed by his knockout, not because he wasn't good, because I knew he was capable of doing that. I've been watching Renan Ferreira because before a lot of people even know who he was, because I was so impressed by his skills, by his ability, and I saw him enter the PFL season, and now I'm like, I put my money on this guy. This is the winner. Like, he's gonna smash everybody, you know. So I've been watching it, and every time, of course, he had a great performance, and I wasn't impressed before because I knew that was what he was going to do. I wasn't expecting any less out of him.
Nice. And last thing for you, Francis, when you set goals in life, it seems that you always obtain them. So now that you're back in MMA, what is your goal in this run with PFL now that you're focused on MMA once again?
Can you start all over again,
sure.
Please, John?
In life, when you set goals, it seems you always meet them. So now that you're back in MMA, back in the PFL, what is your goal now that you're back in MMA again?
You know, my goal right now is not just about like being back in MMA. It's about being back in activity, in combat sport in general. It's being back in what I love. And then I think I always have a purpose. I always look forward for my purpose, the reason why I'm doing. And lately, things been a little tough. You know, I haven't questioned if I have to continue or if I should just hang off the gloves and stuff. But then I realized that should be a purpose for me. You know, like, I didn't have a chance to fight for my son, man. So I think this is it.
My question is, how does it make you feel to get that level of support and have that loyalty shown to you by someone close to you like Israel Adesanya? You
know, it's always great. I mean, since we didn't know each other before we get here, we get in our combat sport career, you know, and then we had to know each other, and then since then, I like. My first fight was on the same card with Usman, and then we hook up. Then Adesanya came after, And then we just have a good chemistry and support each other, you know. So it's always been a good chemistry between us, a good support, genuinely, and everybody wishes everybody the best, you know, wishes everybody to dominate in his division or to overcome whatever he's going through. So it's been, and whether it's on or off stage, we've been supporting each other, and it's also very comforting, you know, like there are moments that you're up and there are moments that you're down, and then you truly need support from people that care about you, you know. So, and those are very important. Like my first boxing match in Riyadh, we were there a whole week with Adesanya and Usman, and let me tell you what, even though I wasn't knowing what I was getting into, at least I was happy that whatever happened, it happens when I'm surrounded by people that care for me.
Dana White said earlier this summer that Francis didn't want to fight Jon Jones. Can you clarify back then that you would have fought Jon Jones, and if that fight could happen, is it one you would still welcome?
Well, I think that's the new narrative, since he needs to say something either way, you know. But as far as I'm concerned, Jon Jones didn't want to fight for me, according to them. And so many times that we sit down on the meeting, I'm like, oh, it can happen. Jon Jones doesn't want to fight anymore. You know, like he lives in Abu Kukr. He doesn't, he lives his small life. He has a lot of money in his bank account, you know. So I think the guy who controls the narrative can say whatever he wants. But that's just the narrative. I was the one requesting the Jon Jones fight, but I didn't want that like a, I don't know how to say, like a trap to get into some deal and get to something that I didn't want, you know. I want things to be straight and square, you know. So yes, I wanted to fight Jon Jones, but in a good condition, not just to fight, to be pay out.
What is the motivation after everything you've been through?
You know, as I said earlier, fighting for me is a lifestyle, you know. Again, I get to the point that I question myself if I should continue or if I should just retire. But I didn't want my son to be the reason for me to do that. So I decided that I will keep doing it, fighting for him, you know. So it just become a new purpose for me. My son was he was 15 months old, but he was very active, and I have a lot of plans in the future for him, and life decide otherwise. So I decide not to make a positive out of his 15 months of living, you know, to find a strength out of him, to find him as a motivation to keep going instead of like to quit, you know. So I think it's the best way of honoring him.
This will be the last question from the press.
Thank you. Final question for you, Francis. Gareth A. Davis from The Telegraph and TalkSport in the UK. It's great to see both you great heavyweights here today. My final question for you, Francis, is if you have a message for everyone, your life is extraordinary, and you have a message for Renan Ferreira, one for life and one for the fight for October the 19th.
Do I have a message for everyone who what?
Just for everyone in terms of the inspiration that you've delivered in your life, what people can achieve.
Do I have a message? You know, it's a tough question. But I would say my message is that I'll keep, you know, life is tough, take you down a couple times, but you have to, multiple times, but you have to stand back up regardless. And then even though sometimes they get to the point that they think you are tough, which is something that I really don't like, because being tough means you've been dealing with a lot of shit. Yeah, that's what people say, like, oh, you are tough. I'm like, yeah, it hurts to be tough. You know, it's not easy, and I'd rather not be tough. But whatever happened, life goes on, you know, things happen to everyone. And I think I mean, in an event like this, you realize that some people have been going through challenges that you didn't know, and then you give more respect and admiration to those people for what they've been going through, because it's not because somebody don't enter in the cage and fight another person that means the person is not a warrior or is not tough. You know, battles are different. There are different battles out there, and someone are way above the one in the cage, and there are a lot of people out there going through it. So I encourage them to keep going, to not give up.